Hey there friends and viewers, welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we're going to be doing what I would consider the most ambitious project I have ever attempted. We're going to connect our two lovely bases that you've watched us construct so far. If you haven't seen us construct these bases, check out the channel, The Vegan Gamers on YouTube. Just quickly show you the distance between what is home base there on the map and volcano base. These are our two main bases right now. My objective is to connect our two bases by rail, and not just any old rail. We're going to be doing it via underwater railway. That's right, this is not a clickbait thumbnail or title. I have never watched a tutorial on how to build an underwater railway. We're going to start right here and now, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be probably about 1,200 blocks of rail. We're going to be mixing in some powered rails along the way so that everything is fully powered and automated. And I'll just show you quickly where this is. This is obviously that entrance is the cave system right below our main base up there. We call it our home base. So you just descend from the main base, go into the cave, and enter the rail from whence we just came. And so this is the area where we're going to enter the ocean. This is salt water. There's a lot of aquatic life in here, including the kelp, obviously, the dolphins, the fish, the sharks. Everything is going to be visible from our underwater railway. And I can't wait to see how this thing turns out. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that this tunnel, as you can see, which exits right here, I wanted it to be somewhat visible, just so if you're looking at it from the sky or you're passing by this base, you can tell that there's an actual rail here that was intelligently designed, and you can see which direction it's heading in. We could of course make this totally invisible and just descend and make it seem as though everything is hidden and underground. You would never even notice unless you're swimming around the coast here. You would not see the base. I want it to be somewhat visible for design purposes, and eventually, when I pass this seed around, people can see all the hard work that went into this base construction. And we're of course doing this all legit. I have not used creative mode once to harvest all this glass or these rails. The redstone, all of it was harvested in survival mode, playing as a vegan, 100% legit, I promise you. So that makes it all the more impressive, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you what's happening with the rail, the design that's manifesting. So I just put down a couple powered rail blocks using redstone block to power them, or redstone torch rather. And let's just hop on and show you what's up really quickly. Hopefully it doesn't get away from me. I have a temporary solution here. There we go. So here's now a secure tunnel. It's properly lit as far as I can tell, so we won't have any monsters spawning. These are temporary workbench and storage chests. And here we are underwater, moving definitely faster than a... Whoa, what the heck? That's a bug. I just despawned outside of the tunnel when I dismounted that minecart. So, well, that's alright though, because I want to show you what it looks like from the outside. Lol. The minecart with that number of powered rails moves faster than a horse or a boat as far as I can tell. So it's actually probably the most efficient way to travel in this game. Unless of course you're using some sort of flight. Either, the Ender Dragon flight ability or creative mode. But even this minecart might be moving faster than somebody flying around in creative mode, the default speed. So it is definitely going to be the most efficient way to travel between our two bases. And it's turning out really nicely so far. So at this point we need to make sure that we are heading in the right direction. So we came out, got cleared from the land, and we took a hard left. And that is going to align us straight with the volcano base. We're just going to have to move through that section over there and probably move some of that earth in order to get our tunnel through at this elevation. But from here, it's pretty much a straight shot to the volcano base. So that is what this is the design as far as I can tell. I might change it a little bit along the way. It's quite intense on the glass. Once again, it's totally unnecessary to use glass for this. We're just doing it for aesthetics and because we're going to be using this tunnel a lot, and we want it to be really awesome every time we do, so we can catch all this wildlife out here. It's going to be really sweet. I just wanted to take a moment to give a quick tutorial. I've loaded an instance of our survival world in creative mode. This is not the map that we're actually building this in. I just wanted to use creative for tutorial purposes. For those of you out there that really enjoy this design, and perhaps you want to build it in your own world, or you want to take inspiration from it to do a project of your own that is similar. The purpose of using creative mode obviously is that we don't have to go up for air every 10 seconds like we do in survival mode, and it's just a lot easier. Plus we can get this spectator mode camera angle here. So it's about as minimalistic a design as possible, and that is because we're building this in survival mode where all of these resources we're actually collecting, gathering authentically. So we're trying to make it really cool and appealing, but also still not wasting too much time gathering resources and using them unnecessarily. So I'll quickly just show you what we're dealing with. Obviously, the core of the railroad is the cobblestone block that we're actually placing the rails on. So I'm not actually going to add any pillars, to the ocean floor as support for this, as you normally would if you were doing this in the real world, which would be pretty awesome. But I might come back later and add some pillars just for some realism factor if I don't have anything better to do. But for now, we're just going to build, straight in the direction of our volcano base. If you'll remember, the reason we're building this is to conjoin our two main bases in this survival world via rail at this stage in the game, and also just doing it in a really appealing way that is interesting every time you use the rail. So we'll come out about this far with our cobblestone, and I chose cobblestone because it's strong. It's pretty much the most plentiful resource in the game. Anytime you're mining in Minecraft, you're gathering cobblestone, so you should have plenty of it. And of course, most importantly, you can't place rails underwater. You gotta have a block to place it on, and as you can see, when I try to place the rail down, it just floats off. So we need to create a dry space, a vacuum if you will, or a watertight area. And we're going to do that by putting 2 glass blocks on both sides of this rail. Now, if you wanted to build this railway for practical purposes, as I've mentioned already, you wouldn't use glass because it takes quite a while to dig up all this sand and then fire it all in your furnaces. And while there is quite a bit of EXP to be had by doing that, hello dolphin, it is quite resource intensive, including your time. So the reason I've chosen glass is just for the wow factor pretty much, but I'm not going to be building a full tunnel because I am trying to conserve time and resources because we are doing this in survival. So that is why I'm using only 5 blocks of glass to 1 block of rail, which is the least amount of glass I can use whilst still having that whole transparent traveling underwater appeal and not just through an opaque tunnel. So the next step after we have these glass walls is to create the airtight space, or I should say watertight space, within the walls. And we do that by using the second most plentiful block in the game, at least from my perspective, which is the dirt. And the reason I've chosen dirt is because you can remove this preferably with a diamond shovel that has an efficiency enchant on it. You can remove it very quickly underwater because there is a tool use penalty anytime you're underwater in Minecraft. And so when you're dealing with your depleting oxygen, you want to be able to remove these blocks as quickly as possible, and dirt is pretty much the fastest block you can remove, tied with sand and probably a couple others. So it's also just very, very plentiful. So that is why we're choosing dirt. And all we're going to do here is simply fill the void between our glass walls with dirt. And we're going to leave an opening for us to enter the tunnel here. And at this point, we're going to add our ceiling block of glass. Now we could put a glass block on the entire roof of the tunnel, but that wouldn't be very effective. It wouldn't be very resource efficient. And also, I think I want to add some glowstone on the sides eventually. So we're just going to add one glass block as the roof, right on top of our dirt. And this is effectively going to create a watertight container within the tunnel. But in Minecraft, with the water physics as they are, we have to be able to destroy the source block of water in order to have a dry space inside the tunnel. And that is the whole point of laying down that dirt. So if you look at it from the outside, you're just seeing 2 blocks of dirt, really a tunnel of dirt on top of cobblestone, enclosed in glass. Now we can't send a rail through that, obviously, which is why we have to go into this little hole we left for ourselves. Descend. And then we're going to put the glass block right over our heads. I'm currently walking around in here. There's no water. It's all dry. Now is the easy part. We're just going to take a shovel, preferably an iron one, so you don't waste the durability on your valuable diamond shovel. And we're just going to remove all these dirt blocks. And with them, you will also remove the source block of water, which is going to create a watertight space inside the tunnel. And that's exactly what we need, ladies and gentlemen, in order... Jeez, are we at the end yet? Okay, there we go. In order to place down the rails, we of course have to have a watertight space. So, here we are. We can plop down the rails. So we'll just head right back to where we left off, connect this rail. Now, we want this to be faster than running between bases and even horseback, even on boat. And in order to do that, we've got to make sure that we're not losing momentum in this tunnel. And that's where the power rails come into play. I don't know the exact spacing in order to preserve our momentum entirely. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it for now, but I'll probably go back and optimize this later. So we can just place down a powered rail. I want to use these pretty sparingly because they do require quite a bit of gold to produce, a little bit more valuable than your average rail. And then we're also going to need one redstone torch at the corresponding block. You can go up 1 block and just place that right in the glass. It'll help with your illumination, and that is of course necessary in order to power your minecart all the way down this railroad at maximum velocity. So we'll just test out this little section that we just constructed, put down the minecart, give it a little push, hop in, and there we go. All the way between bases. And of course we can also use this setup to send minecarts with chests inside them to transfer our material between bases. So in order to continue, say we had to go out to eat, go eat lunch, or you had to go to work or school or whatever, you just enter and exit this little dirt block temporary wall, and you want to make sure that you don't allow your rails to despawn there, because they will be uplifted when they come into contact with water. And there's really no harm done in letting water into your tunnel at this point. Just don't let your rails despawn when that happens. So now we're back from our shift, or we're back from our class, whatever you want to call it, back from your meal. You're having another play session. You can just continue as you were until your project is completed. And that is our design. Oops, it's getting a little dark here. I'm sure there's some optimizations we can make, and you can of course change it up however you like. You can make it more resource intensive if you're doing this in creative mode. Whatever you'd like to do. Just wanted to share that nice little up and close tutorial using the spectator mode. Hope you guys have enjoyed that, and we're gonna get back to completing this rail. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about done building our underwater railway. As you can see, well, I have to show you the map. We are in a completely different biome, quite far away from home base. We are, I would estimate, about 70% of the way to the volcano base. So we're just going to bring out this, the rail, the track here to about this block, which is X185 or so, and then we're going to take a hard left and head straight towards the volcano base, which you can see is loaded in already. It's quite close. And we'll make our way through this another kelp forest right up ahead, which is quite convenient because I learned recently that kelp can be used as a fuel source for furnaces, so it'd be very easy to come over here and just harvest a ton of this stuff. It grows back quite quickly, and it's a lot of fun, I think, to hang out underwater, especially if you have respiration enchant. So this should be where our track is aligned, and we've decided to connect the rail. At this point, we'll cease to be underwater, and we'll probably make the ascent about here or so and begin heading towards the volcano base. We've decided we wanted to stop at this base above ground at about the Y elevation of the volcano base. So we're just about done. I would estimate we probably put in, I don't know, what would you say, Sweet Tea, like 10 hours of construction time, tops?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a few hours less to get this far. Strictly survival mode, no creative mode abuse, and most of these materials we had already harvested when we decided to build this project, but because the mob spawns are starting to get pretty intense now, and we're spending more and more time, moving valuable materials between bases, it just makes sense to have a very safe, reliable means of transport between these two bases. So we'll go ahead and skip ahead to the part where we actually ascend from the water. I asked Sweet D, the other vegan gamer on the line with me, to send some reinforcements because I need more power rails and I need more glass. And the main reason I wanted to build this railway was to create a really reliable means of, you can go ahead and send it. I wanted to create a really reliable means of transferring valuable materials between my bases, because the game is getting increasingly difficult as more time goes by. It becomes riskier and riskier to like send diamonds between bases. So that is a big motivator for me to build this thing. And because it's underwater, creepers don't spawn underwater and they can't dive. They can actually drown. So it's, in my opinion, as long as this thing has proven to be really reliable, the safest way to move valuable goods. And let's take a look at what we've got here. Oh, it's like Christmas. We got some powered rails, and we got some glass. Let's see if we can't just... Oh, my bags are full. Gonna have to sacrifice this kelp here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we currently have our rail system now above water. In fact, we can see it from this location. There it is. She's a beauty. And you can even see, our view distance isn't that far because optimization, and hey, I'm trying to save up for a new graphics card, but it goes all the way to home base. And that's as far as we are right now. So I think Sweet D and I have pretty much already decided that we want the entrance to our rail from within the volcano base to be this main entrance, if you will. The one we end up using most often is that one down there, but this is the most regal, or the most impressive entrance to our base, I'll say, that we have, which makes sense. We didn't really know what we built this for until now. This is where I want the entrance / exit, really the link to our rail system to be for this base. So let's begin by building it out more substantially. And we're going to do that firstly by making it stone. We don't want to be building heavy on top of dirt, even though obviously you can do that in Minecraft. It doesn't make a lot of sense from a geoengineering standpoint. if you were to actually build a rail link,
Whoa.
then you would first remove this dirt and put in some stronger, more dense material, like stone, down first, so you could support that weight. And that's what I like to do in Minecraft. I like my structures to be somewhat realistic. You know, obviously you can have floating, immensely dense and heavy structures in Minecraft without any type of engineering or architecture that makes any sense whatsoever. You can just have, 4,000 stone blocks levitating in space. I try to stay away from that type of building in Minecraft just because I think things look better when they're built sensibly. So we'll go ahead and put down some stone here. And we'll say it comes to right here. And then we'll add some steps right here. What do you think, Sweet Tea?
Phenomenal.
She says it's phenomenal. So I have no idea, truly, where the rail is going to go from this point. You can really build off of it and go any which direction you choose. It'll probably end up attaching or connecting with our next base that we decide to build, which we really have zero plans for that so far. But for the time being, we can at least begin by connecting it to the home base and that rail that you see in the far distance. Okay, friends and viewers, we are finally ready to connect home base to volcano base via rail. This is a momentous day, a historic day for our seed. Sweet Tea, are you ready for this?
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, I didn't realize you could fall off there. Can you get up for a second? Carefully.
I'm scared.
Okay, just stay put then if you're that scared. Don't get out.
Anxiety.
She's freaking out. So I'll just carefully... Now you get out?
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's because you had the dirt blocks there.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to begin the descent, but because this is such a steep incline, when we're heading up to the base, we're going to have to rely on powered rails very heavily. So actually, just start placing them right here at the top. We're going to be very liberal with our application of these powered rails. And this is going to be like a theme park or something, you know, like a really intense roller coaster. It's going to be fun though. That's the whole point of a roller coaster. So these powered rails are quite an investment. Dang, I need some more stone out here. Can you bring me some stone, Sweet Tea?
Mm-hmm. How much?
Just a full stack should do it. So we actually have to displace the redstone torch a little bit in order to power a rail here.
Just one full stack?
Yeah, of regular stone. So, as I was saying, we've been surviving on a diet of baked potatoes predominantly. Almost entirely, I should say. So even when I'm in intense combat, I'll just eat a baked potato, which really makes this game hard mode.
So should I just meet you over there?
So we haven't been using our gold to make golden apples or carrots, really. Yes, please meet me down here.
With the minecart?
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Alright, so all that's really left to do... Oh, I forgot to tell you that powered rails that are not powered serve as brakes.
I'm going.
So you should be descending really slowly. Hold forward. Let's see if this should be interesting.
Let's go.
Because reverse power rails are actually are brakes. They'll slow the cart down immensely.
I feel like I'm on a roller coaster.
Oh, I think you're out of my view distance. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, it's really slow. That's cool. So we could actually design this system to utilize the powered rails as a brake, but I'm not keen on doing that. There's no real benefit to going really slow. think I might have messed up there at the base.
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, yeah, it's actually connected.
Here, do you want these?
Yes, just throw them. You know you can throw the whole stack at once, right?
I like doing that.
Thank you. Gonna need another one right here because there's so many little dips here. Every time we go up one block, we're gonna lose a lot of momentum. So like I said, a very liberal application of our powered rails. It seems a bit excessive, but I'm gonna go for it. We'll come back here and we'll refine this later. I'm sure it's not very well optimized at the moment. I think we only need one powered rail every 20 blocks in order to maintain maximum velocity, but that's only considering that... Oh, that's not where we want to go. That's only considering that your rail is on flat ground. So we'll go for a twofer right here. How about that?
This is so ridiculous.
What's ridiculous about it?
I just love it.
Oh gosh.
I'm ready.
We don't have enough regular rails to connect it. Oh, actually we do if I only use powered rails here. Sweet. Which is what I should do anyways. Okay. Let's put this up there.
Can I go now?
You're gonna go all the way back to home base if you go now.
I'm going.
Okay.
Wait, you pushed me.
Bye-bye. No, actually, we have to go power the major incline first. But thank you for testing that for us. Now we know it works.
I'm going.
Okay, she's going back to home base right now. In the dark. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Meanwhile, I will do the honors. And we should be able to power at least 5 blocks both ways from this redstone. I think it's actually 8. So yeah, those are all powered. These are all powered. And then straight shot all the way up to the major ascent. We'll probably need 2 redstone torches. Okay guys, so we want to do a little science experiment. We have now connected our 2 bases. We're right below home base right now on our map. I'll quickly show you what that looks like. And I don't know actually how many blocks separate these 2 bases, but it's quite a distance. This is a maximum expanded map on a cartography table. It's as big as maps get. So I want to time this and see how long it takes to get between bases. And I'm going to hop in this cart. I'm going to start my timer as soon as I hit that first powered rail. I'm going to use Android OS here. My stopwatch app. I'm going to press start as soon as I hit the rail. I'm going to begin right now. Okay, I was maybe a second late, so we'll give or take 2 seconds. And then Sweetie is going to follow me. And she's also running her own stopwatch so that we can get the best data that way. Oh, you're quite a ways behind me. Well, I can see her still though. Hold on a second. So Sweetie is right back there. She's running a stopwatch and following me. Her legs awkwardly sticking out in front of that minecart. Just quickly observe the awesome kelp forest surroundings that we're in. Spent quite some time building through this kelp forest. And she ruined her timer because she accidentally dismounted her minecart. So we're going to be relying on 1 clock, really, with a give or take 1 second discrepancy on this. And we're going to end the timer as soon as we stop at the volcano base. And right now, we're at 1 minute and 3 seconds. And counting. I'll just show you. It'll be epic. Ooh, wow, there's quite a slowdown right there. We need to definitely go back there and add an additional powered rail, at least 1. I think we lost a lot of momentum. And here we are ascending We are no longer underwater. I'm going to whip around this corner. Okay, no loss of momentum there. And I went very liberal with the powered rails at this stage. Currently at 1 minute, 40 seconds. This is the fastest way in the game to get through two bases. These two bases in particular. And I think all of these rails were powered. And stop. So we're at 1:53:39. So it takes us about 150 seconds to get between these two bases. Sweet D should be arriving any moment now. So, wow, just a little bit of server lag because we're breaking the sound barrier on this thing. That is pretty sweet. If we were to travel that distance, you can see, I should have shown you the map while I was going, but we took the most direct route possible, straight through the ocean right there, between these two bases. If you were to make that trip on horseback or on foot, it would be a lot longer than 152 seconds. That I am confident. So we're going to be making some more additions to this track and to this station. We really don't know where we're going to connect the rail from here. Our imagination is the limit to what we can do with this thing. So that's pretty exciting times and a good stopping point for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. It has been a pleasure building this thing, and hopefully you enjoyed watching as well. We are going to be doing some finishing touches and make it look a little bit more beautiful, and we'll show an update or two in the following videos the next time we use this thing on camera. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed it so far, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.